Ohayo gozaimasu! Tim Trevathan with Tim Trevathan Homes here on another video. And guys, I know you're gonna like this one. Why? Because it's about the Japanese community and the Japanese culture here in Atlanta, Georgia. I tell you, something about the Japanese culture fascinates many as far as wanting to move to Japan or at least visit. But guess what? Here in Atlanta, we have a growing community, and one of the greatest parts about the community is experiencing Japan Fest. Yes, that's right. It is an annual festival that happens every September, and I had a chance to go to it. And if you haven't already taken a glimpse of what this festival looks like, I actually covered some of the previous year's festival in this video where I talked about how the Japanese community is exploding overnight here in Atlanta. Well, this is just an extension of talking about this community that has established itself so well here in Atlanta. If you've been following my channel, you know that I cover a lot of topics about the Asian community. And you would also know that there is a huge presence of the Asian community here, whether it's Koreatown with the Koreans, or Vietnamese, or Chinese, or even some of the other ones that you would not imagine, such as Thai or Laotian, or even Hmong. So there's so much here in terms of Asian cuisine, culture, festivals, and just an overall presence of what you can experience where you don't have to actually leave Atlanta, Georgia and go abroad, although that would be cool too, but here in your local backyard, you can check it out. So a couple things that I learned about Japanese culture here in Atlanta, which I learned from a guy that was on stage talking about it right before one of their shows, is that we have a relationship with the Japanese sister city, Fukuoka, for over 50 years. Whether it's companies or universities or study abroad programs, we have a lot of connections to Fukuoka. And what's cool is that here in Georgia, the state of Georgia, we have more than 350 Japanese companies that have established themselves here. And out of all those Japanese companies, there are more than 30,000 people employed. That doesn't mean that they're Japanese themselves, but that is simply a Japanese company that has hired an employee. Yes, more than 30,000. Cool fun fact for you. Do you know when the first Japanese company was created and what that company did? Well, it was in 1972, the company YKK, which is a zipper maker company. Yes, they make zippers, whether it's on luggage or apparel. And yeah, they were established here as the first Japanese company in the state of Georgia. Now, in terms of this Japan Fest itself, you're probably wondering, man, this is a lot of people that you're showing me here. It looks like there's a lot in attendance, and it is true. It spans only 2 days, so you must be aware of when the festival comes because it will come and go in the blink of an eye if you don't watch out. And it is a huge event. The attendance for this is 12,000 people per day. So since it's a 2-day event, you're looking at 24,000 in attendance. Some come on both days, but as far as the actual amount of attendance total, grand total is about 24,000 in one weekend. And they continue to make this event better, and they include so many things such as different various foods, whether it's bubble tea or ramen or takoyaki or yakisoba. You can find a lot of that here. Karaage chicken. Yes, even that too. You got plenty of apparel, anime, action figures, wall scrolls and statues, CDs, and video games, even a couple cool looking cars. They have all kinds of stuff here. Even one of my friends has a study abroad hosting program where you can be a host for a student from another country. Not necessarily Japan, but that's just one of the things you could find here at the Japan Fest. They have multiple stages with multiple performances that go on throughout the day, both days of the weekend during Japan Fest. So it's not just the different kind of merchandise that you can find, that you can purchase, but it's also just getting a full-on cultural experience. Anything from checking out bonsai trees that have been perfectly manicured and taken care of over many, many decades, to other things such as a posture check from a Japanese chiropractor, to some wonderful, delicious shaved ice with condensed milk on top, or the different kinds of string instruments that you can find on stage. And my all-time favorite, the Kabuki Classical Theater. And here is an actual look at the schedule of Japan Fest. You can see they're chock full of different activities that go on as early as 10 a.m. that go on all the way to about 5 or 6 p.m. And anything there as far as like a school of dance to a jazz performance that's Japanese influenced to, again, the classical theater, a samurai sword show, a samurai boot camp, and some local clubs that demonstrate their own sports, such as the Georgia Sumo Club, the Georgia Kyudo Renmai Club, and even one of my favorites there is the Kendo Georgia Association. I love seeing their show, and we're going to see in a minute what that looks like. I have a demonstration that I recorded and a couple of the other performances like the kabuki that you're going to see in a second. So again, the Japanese community continues to grow here, and in fact, since I am in real estate and I help clients move to Georgia, whether they're out of state or within state, I have helped a couple Japanese clients. One in particular, which is interesting, there's a huge connection if you look at history where there have been a lot of Japanese that have come as immigrants to Brazil. I met one client that bought a house in Swanee a few years back, and they were originally from Brazil. So it was a family of 4, and it's cool because when you come to Japan Fest, you get to really see the community come alive as far as the Japanese, because sometimes it's hard to actually find an actual town here that's established like Koreatown or Chinatown in terms of Japanese culture. But coming to this festival, you get to really meet all those people that like to attend and experience their own culture that they miss back home. So without further ado, let's take a look at what Japan Fest has to offer, as I'm going to show you the rest of this video with all the sights and sounds so you can really feel like you've been immersed into the Japanese culture via the Japan Fest. And as always, subscribe if you haven't, and be sure to check out my other videos. And if you're looking to make a move to Georgia, particularly here in Metro Atlanta, be sure to reach out to me, call, text, DM, however you want to get a hold of me, as I help a lot of people make their move and establish roots here in Metro Atlanta. Now stay tuned to the awesome Japan Fest.
Georgia Power, Anime Weekend Atlanta, Marukan Vinegar USA,